So I went to this academy training this morning, and later on, studying the Bible, and I'm in Matthew 21 and starting in verse 28, and I'm looking at the parable of the two sons that Jesus tells. And it's a really quick parable, but he tells this parable of these two sons, and the father asked them to go out and tend the vineyard. And one of them says, "No, I'm not going to go." And the other one says, "Yes, he will go." But the crazy thing is, the one who says he'll go doesn't go, and he doesn't go tend the vineyard. And the other one said that he wouldn't go. Well, he, I guess, feels repentant, and he goes out and he tends the vineyard. And Jesus is kind of rough with the Pharisees on this one. He says, the tax collectors and the prostitutes will end up going to heaven before you. And he's talking about repentance. But as I thought about my training this morning, and I thought about that parable, I thought, Jesus asked them which one obeyed the Father. And the more I thought about it, I thought, well, neither one of them obeyed the Father. And let me take you a step deeper in that, because, my younger self would have said, well, the one who said he wouldn't, but he went ahead and did. Let's think about this. The Father owned the vineyard right now, but whose vineyard would that ultimately have been? When he went out and he told his sons to tend that vineyard, he was teaching them to go take care of their legacy. And so when I think about that in the context of our business, I think, some people come into business and they say, no, I'm not going to do the things. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm not going to do it. And then they stick around long enough, and, after they've, wrestled with things, ultimately some of them stay and they do it. Other people say, give a lot of mouth service. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to blow this up. I'm going to go run rings around everybody else. Or they drop off and they come back in. Oh, I'm really here this time. I'm in it to win it. But they don't ever do anything. It just becomes mouth service. And the thing that they're both missing, because the first one isn't being coachable at all, to say, no, I'm not going to do that. Even if eventually they do, but they've held themselves back in business. And the one who says, I'm going to do it, but never does anything, obviously is holding themselves back in business. But when you think about it, they're being coached for their own business, to grow their own business, their own legacy. Their coach is sending them out to do these things for their own good, their own legacy, just like the Father was sending the sons out to build their own vineyard, because he wouldn't always be there with them. So I want you to think about that next time. Which one of those sons are you in life or in this business? And maybe you don't need to be either one. Maybe you need to be the one that's immediately obedient, or or coachable, what we say, coachable, and let somebody else, when they're sending you out, they're helping you not just tend what looks to be their vineyard today. They're helping you grow your own vineyard legacy and produce that fruit on and on and on, many generations for the future. So be blessed.